Counting one, counting two, counting one, counting two, counting three. Dade County, Miami-Dade. Never been to Miami-Dade. It's yeah. I had to keep a low profile on this shit. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's get it. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Today is 24th of February. Today is the 24th of February. Some the Dodgers, some the Dodgers, some the Dodgers. Son the Dodger, he said, bomba clocks, hey, bomba clocks, hey, bomba clocks, hey. Alright, what's going on? It's your boy, Ellen Reptile. I don't exist in this world. I'm stuck in fiction. I'm not here. I am not born. I'm not dead. I just don't exist in this place. Welcome to my place. I'm an artist, illustrator, graphic designer, and we're going to be continuing today part 2 of the Captain Durag illustration. This time, I am now going to continue drawing his sidekick, which is, we all know his name. If you guys have seen my video, his name is Topper Sanchez. I am going to officially keep continuing this drawing because I want to. I haven't really after uploading any stream because I'm gonna be real with you, I still have to order a new. I really need to buy a new speaker. This speakerphone right here, even though this is the ghettoest way to even speak to people like this. Literally, I'm just gonna be straight with you guys. This camera, this microphone is actually for outdoors. This is the kind of camera you use to play outdoors, not for live stream or nothing. All right, so I'm gonna have to really get myself a new one right now. I should be getting myself a new one, but I'm getting paid. I'm getting my very last my recent pay now. It's a duration page because I've donated. I can tell you they donated recently for a hair drive, like a blood drive. I was pretty dazed out for a moment, but I managed to recuperate. Really wasn't much. It's not really much, but it's gonna help me probably get me some stuff to buy and all that stuff. Anyways, let's get into it, bro. Right? Let's start to my channel. Follow me on my Instagram, my Twitter, or check me out on my channel. Subscribe to me right here, and let's get to it. Where's my pen? Now where's my pen? Now where's my pen? Where's the pen? Well, ain't that some shit? Where's my pen? I'm about to kill somebody. I'm about to murder somebody. I'm about to hijack a car, blow some shit up, yell the name of Allah. I'll find my pen. God damn. Just when you start to get ready, it pulls you back in, you know? And hijo de puta. Was it there? Oh my god, I have to down find it. Oh, there. No? I have to use this one. This one's so wrong. It's so just broken. Alright. Time to use this one. I don't like this pen. I do not like this pen. This pen is pretty broken. Well, this is spare anyways. Let's do this. See, I'm not gonna lie. It's soon enough. See, as soon. See this? This one's bad. Until I find the other one. See this shit? This is not my pen. This is not my pen. Nah, this pen is. Where is my? No. This pen does not work. This pen does not work. Great. Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay, no? There it is. This is the one I'm looking for. This one. This is the wrong. Like, pay attention. All this time. I was looking for my pen. So this one does not work because it's still attracted to one thing. This one, on the hand, this one definitely works. I have two spare pens. I have two spare pens on my pen. Same thing with the same model, XP pens, right? It's just that they're not. This one just completely is worthless. I don't like this one. I don't like that. I want this one. This one is the God Almighty. This is the God Almighty pen worth to use. This is the God Almighty pen worth to use. All right. But this is I like. This one I like. Let me use this pen for my sidekick. Let's go with this one. This whole thing's gonna be completely pathetic because it's not like I have it, but it just does not really work. Like, you don't, like, some of y'all probably don't understand it. Like, it's not really good. I'm just. No. No! Yes, hey, bro, when you're done. Tourette syndrome. Tourette syndrome. All right. This is the one. Hopper Sanchez needs a lot of references. No? I think last time I did it, I had the idea of having like a Miguel from Coco because he usually wears red. I don't know why people in Hollywood would love putting red on a character like this. He's gonna have white weavers on this one too, but his jacket is gonna be like this. It's very thick. Let's keep that in mind. This is a very thick coat, kind of like that. Very thick coat. It's gonna be like this, looking like David from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Then it's gonna have like a neck collar. It's gonna have like a tag, I guess, that will cover up his. No, he is gonna have a ski mask. Cover up his place like that. That's gonna work. That's gonna work. This is Hopper Sanchez after all. He hops. This is the most racist thing. You know, I like how YouTube officially blocked my first stream about drawing Captain Durag just because it blocked. Like, I kid you not, my last stream, I got the message on I got my email saying it's blocked. Let me show you my email. Right? Hold up. Right here. Video is blocked right here. Look. Your Captain Durag, the drawing, right? Monday Artstream. Look, can no longer be played on YouTube. Oh, because of this copyright. Why, man? Why? I'm playing some PlayStation ass music, and now you're putting into label owners and works? Since when? Since when? Oh my god, bro. I'm just putting a mix. How does YouTube knows jungle? Oh, that's a weird one. How does YouTube knows jungle? I really thought that they say that my YouTube has been banned because of this. That means I'm doing a good job. Oh yeah, I saw this one too. I did post. I saw this post. I'm getting a lot of likes in this one. This guy, right? People talk about this guy. Like, what do you think of Water Kuma and the leader of the design? I say he has legendary designs like Abby and other shonen. Although he admitted to be a fan of designing small petite characters, he admitted to being, which I'm petite and petite women do exist. Young petite adult women exist, yes, and he's a fan of it. I'm petite too, so don't think that I don't exist. Petite people like me don't exist, right? So he said he's admitted, right? But the way this account, which is he's apparently a Zelen Zone Zero fan, right? Anonymous, Zelen Zone Zero Anonymous. This guy actually thought the audacity to say it in a way that it's negative to draw petite characters because they don't exist and they should not exist. They're not legal to be appreciated. People like me who are short, I am 5'5", right? But back then I was 5'4", 5'3". Apparently I am not supposed to be that way because I'm not that, because I am unforgivably rejected for consent. I am completely denied consent because I am short, because I appeared to be a child-sized individual that means I'm considered as a child. And if I want to do something sexy or want to have intimate, they call that child pornography. Like, dude, a guy like me already, bro, I'm born 99. I am 26 years old. You're gonna tell me a child? Shit, I feel like back in my childhood days, right? So they said that. He said he's sometimes forced to do others like Nicole or Trigger, which are outside of his comfort zone. Designers created by him, right? But the comments, so a lot of the people agree with this person. Art style sense of urban instinct is the main reason a lot of people gravitate towards music to begin with. I hope he stays on that Mihoyo payroll to the foreseeable future. That's right. But then you see comments like this, but this isn't right. Honestly, we'd be fine without him. Most of the designs, of the better designs, aren't done by him anyways. That his designs are great. Part of our wish is great. Idiot narcs would have you believe drawings that he's made have translated tangible harm to real people in the real world. I like it, right? That's one. Look, fan design. Stop being scared of the word lolly. Exactly. But let me say it. A plague on the game. Look at this comment from 2020 likes, right? A plague in the comments. The plague on the game. Regardless of any morality or arguments related to card lolicons, he is a terrible person. The main promise he brings massively outweighs the benefit he might bring. He could be easily replaced with someone less problematic. Yeah, keep him out of that comfort zone. It's gonna be okay. One of the most talented, forced. Look, he's getting this guy. This guy likes to get grilled, right? This guy does not understand. Waste of talent. He has made some of the best female designs in the game, but prioritizes into making child-looking characters, which is quite disappointing. Here's the thing. Look, guys. I don't think many of you are, I guess, on your 20s. I understand you guys are young and you find that morally in your gap, in your perspective, kind of weird and wrong. However, all right, I understand that. Number one, I understand that you guys are very young. You're younger than us. We are the same Gen Z circle. All right, we are part of the same Gen Z circle. But you cannot. Let's not gather together and completely fucking disclose the fact that short people and short women, petite women exist. Because if petite women don't exist, then my mother, who lives, right? My mother, my dear mother, who I love very much, would not exist because you think petite women don't exist. I would have one of my friends who was a girl, who is petite, who's like 5'3", because you say they don't exist, then she wouldn't be there. She would be confused. But petite women do exist. It's just that you guys are either following the virtual thing, or you're just pretty young, are just too young and have an underdeveloped brain and lost literacy. All right, don't use Ebonics, please. Don't use Ebonics in the ZZZ community. I'm pretty sure the people in the ZZZ community, the majority of the people in the ZZZ community, are probably a bunch of whites and Asian people. We blacks and browns, we can't use. Please don't use Ebonics on that shit. Trust me. We black and brown people, we will not work against whites and Asians when it comes to shit like this. I'm speaking in that and the behalf of my retarded racism. So, what I did, right? So, look, Nicole and Trigger have options, so force them again. They like the busty ones, which they exist, right? Because that keeps them safe. So, you know what I got to say? You know what I said? Look, he did this guy. This is the number one. He did the design of Coletta and Lucy, which are simply the two worst designs in the game, along with Diana. I don't think making young characters a problem. Course and Coletta are great, but Coletta are very ugly. All right. Here's my response to that, because what they're trying to say about water Kuma, right, is that because he draws petite characters, or what we say lollies in the anime. Remember, I watch anime, but I'm very average. I'm very average on every niche spaces, right? Though I do love doujinshi, so I'm already, I guess, somewhere on that set. But I still draw Western characters because I'm Western. I'm Western. Western first priority. But like I said, so my response to that, I post this because they're basically saying, because this that Water Kuma is a lolicon. He said, okay, I said, look, this guy is literally a sick lolicon. Fuck him. Okay, fam. Here's a girl cosplaying one, which I did send a post of an actual Japanese girl who's young adult and petite. Keep in mind, she's petite, dressing up as one of the so-called worst design characters of Zelda Zone Zero, who is basically the four-letter word, lolly. Yes, yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my fellow shonen heads who are Latino, or the Latino community and of the Black community. Blacks and Latinos of the shonen world, yeah, call me a coon. Call me a light-skinned coon. All right? Call me a light-skinned coon. I'm sorry, pero yo soy un traidor, yo soy una fresa y que toda esa mierda, pues, yo sé, yeah. Because I'm setting the logic right, because these characters don't exist. They're not. And why keep talking about age consent when these characters have abilities that defy physics? They're fighting Ethereals. Because if these characters were in real life and those monsters were real life, they would have been dead within a quick second. They would die within a quick second. But they're doing superpowers, they're having XP, they like this guy, and they're doing this and that. I'm like, yo, and not just that. Do they even say their names? I don't know. They said find the right man, and Lucy was finding all that shit. That's all scripted, Because if that character was real, nobody would like her. Nobody would like her. Not even Wise would like her. But she's not real. She's not real. So what's the problem? So yeah, that's why I put it in that. Now, usually I am not the kind of person to skim around and start making arguments. That is not me. I should have stayed on fencing. I should have stayed on fencing. Yes, I should have stayed fencing. Because why should I stay neutral? Why should I have to pick a side? Why should I pick a side? Now, I get it. I understand on that own behalf. Yeah, there are some people who have a favor of some lolly characters that are genuine children. There are genuine children, yes, that are of a certain of animes that make it that basic, like Anya Forger. Are you going to read? Who sexualizes that character like that? No, ew. Now that is some Epstein shit right there. You sexualize Anya Forge. You sexualize that. You sexualize another character. Some other characters too. You guys are a fan of Shoujo Ramune? Don't get me wrong. I did watch. I have in a way tried to go to Shoujo Ramune, but I couldn't because that's just disturbing. Because it's just doesn't work that way. No, please, no, I don't do that. Megami no Tatsumaki, yeah. But there are others, right? Boku no Pico? Who goes to that? Super Lovers is P. Diddy material. Alright? So don't give me that shit. No. See? Those are the ones I don't like. Kodomo no Jikan. That's P. Diddy shit. That's some P. Diddy. That is some FC shit. Kodomo no Jikan. Right there. Shoujo Ramune, Kodomo no Jikan, and who sexualizes it. Now I can accept Jack the Ripper because the people in Fate can design that. Though there are some characters that on Fate I kind of don't want to see sexualized. That's one. But in the end, fuck you. We're Goonie. We're Goonie. Alright? Like, so that's the limit right there. Though, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Because I separate fiction from reality. That's the half. However, to a lot of people who were saying, "Oh, this guy's a lollipop, please get him out of here" and stuff. Yet at the same time, they're not real. They're not real. Because if you're saying this guy's a pedophile, all that good stuff, then I think you guys should stop watching all animes if that's the case. Because finding little girls attractive is creepy in the anime community. Then that literally just means almost all half of anime. You're gonna be real sad. And many of those high school girls are for some reason built insane. But since I posted this is a female cosplayer right here. You're looking up. That right there is a female cosplayer. All right. This is a Japanese female cosplayer. Since people in the Zenland Zone Zero fandom base, who the way he said it, because the way this guy said it, ZZZ Anonymous keeps saying, right? Oh, that like he is a fan. The way he said it, although he's admitted to being a fan of design small petite characters who exist because I exist. I exist. I exist. I am petite. I am petite. All right. I am small, petite, so not pretty cute looking, but I am pretty funny. All right. I'm not cute looking, but I am pretty funny. And say it in a way that drawing petite characters, right, is considered Diddy Epstein, right? Even though Epstein was generally analyzed to liking a lot more Yuri, right? he's more linked to liking Yuri characters and being furry because of Futa, Yuri, hentai that he saw out of 4chan, basically Five Nights at Freddy's. They call it amazing animations. Literally says it in the documents, right? I decided my response, and to everyone who even agrees with him and makes that comment, expresses that comment that way. Again, the people who commented that disagreeing with, not all of them are sicko or mentally ill sickos. There's a certain percent of them that are actually just people who are just basically 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, sometimes even minors down to 14. Like that. Keep that in mind. All right, keep that in mind. Remember, if you think there are some people, if there's someone who sees this and thinks I am a fence sitter, well, I would choose to be a fence sitter because I don't want to get into conflicts. All right, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not the kind of guy who wants to do that shit. Who wants to, make beef like Chibi reviews. I hate drama. I really hate to be in the middle of drama. But anyways, so since he said that, and people agree with him, I decided to say, you know what? I'm gonna post this. An actual Japanese girl who is petite, a Japanese woman of the petite kind, who's probably in her 20s or perhaps 19, who is literally a year over the age of consent of 18, even though the age of consent over there is 16. All right, age of consent here is 16, but our morality speaking, that's fucking still rape, right? In America. So let's just say this girl could perhaps be 19, and cosplaying Lucy, right? Who happens to be a lolly character. That if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for China, accept that Lucy would not accept shit like this. Well, he did. She cosplayed it. She's cosplaying a lolly character. There's like, and it's a girl. And it's a girl. So those who are now on behalf of those who are hypocrites, who say that, oh, you know, anime is for pedophiles, who you have a lot of secretly have a you know, a history stash that needs to be checked in their outflash. Though at the same time, however, I'm fence-sitting. So in the fence-sitting terms, on their behalf, yeah, there are characters that are generally encoded, child-coded, like, yes, definitely, and that is like, you know, cross. But majority-wise, physics don't mean a thing in animation. You can do whatever you want in animation. And yet again, I am not trying to defend the other side, though I am also not trying to prove a point for the community who rejects it, who want to stay pure, but they're hypocrites. Because if you really want to stay pure, you should completely reject violence too. You want to reject lolicon, you should reject violence. You want to reject anime fan service, you should reject murder. You should reject all violent video games. You should reject drug trafficking. That's on Hollywood. As a matter of fact, if you hate fan service, if you hate the depravity of women, and I'm speaking on behalf of my people, Latino people, right? Latino people, then you, including our black brethren, should completely shut down and cancel the messages, the street code messages, the normie messages, because normies should not. If normies don't know about our stuff, go stick to watching Gangland, you know, Mayans MC, all that nigga shit, all that gang nigga shit that you guys usually watch, or maybe gossips and, you know, toxic gossip, you know, gossip shit that really I hate watching so much. I hate watching so much. I don't know why normies watch that shit. I don't want to watch that shit. It's so fucking stupid and toxic. That Jersey Shore shit that you guys want to put in, and the cheating, all that shit, the women have been doing a lot. So that you know, go stick to watching that. All right, don't come over here. Don't come into the space and say, "Oh, you guys are the type of people who are the type of people that cheated reviews, you know, will get cut." Well, no. People would dare to say that the Chibi reviews, you know, getting cut. Yeah, sure, he is. He is the kind of white. He kind of is the nerdy white kid who can't stop talking about things. Sure, that. And on behalf of Sarah's TV, even though I don't. There are moments that I follow him. I follow Chibi reviews. Follow Chibi reviews. Yes, there's some shit that he says that are a bit a little annoying, but I still agree with many of things. I may not be part of the anime community because I'm casual. I am a shit. I am casual on every niche, even the doujinshi. I am casual of doujinshi. And maybe not. Actually, no. Because I have characters that are of the cute and fun. That I agree. Yes. You guys. But I still watch. But I do watch like other animes, you know. Because right now I'm recently watching an anime that isn't Shonen Jump. Although I'm a diehard fan of Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm diehard watching Tachikuta, Eichakta. You say, not Tachikuta, no Eichakta or Eichakta. They call it. If you want to say in a broken accent, right? But yeah, like seeing those. However, I've recently watched other animes like aside from Freeway and all that shonen shit, Shiba Yugi. Right? Shiba Yugi. I wanted to watch some of the trash, very terrible ones. I saw one terrible anime I talked about it before. It's called Vampire in the Garden. It's just like a mini 4 episode anime that I watched on Netflix. It really wasn't that good. Like the storyline, the story, like it was a very short. It was supposed to be like a short film of a peculiar world building, but it's that they resulted a lot on world building on that stuff, and so they decided to make it 4 episodes, 4 episodes of Shiba Inu, of the Vampire in the Garden, but it didn't work out. And like the way it ended, it didn't. It really didn't work out. Right. It was like the comic got killed, but just too rushed. It was very rushed. So yeah, that. Then, but I like watching Hell's Paradise. I like wanting to watch romance animes, couple of couples, sports animes, comedy animes, not Konosuba, but Grand Blue. Then, of course, I am the kind of guy, in behalf of a very, very big fan of H content. Yes, that's, but romantic, vanilla, romantic vanilla, and fan fiction. That's where the level I'm at. I'm in that. Imagine if I was able to watch Yuki Tashi, which I, for some reason, I don't know how that do. Those fucking people in Japan able to dare to bring that up. I have a fucking that. But it's late night, so I don't think anybody's going to. That does. That does. Oh, so we're speaking of that, but what I'm doing right here, I'm drawing right here, looks a little too Western. Hold up a second. Now that's that, which is a big question. What I'm drawing is a Western style character. Is that I'm drawing what? A sidekick to a black superhero who, goes through the same stereotypes. This is Captain Durag, right? Captain Durag, superhero made by Disney Junior. He's trying to save the world, right? But by taking out slime in the streets, right? And he wears a good dude. He wears a really good dude. But he is alone. He is alone. In order to keep him in check, and someone gives him motivation, he needs a sidekick. And I know his sidekicks. He'll be. How to say it? It says it right here. What is? Yes, my friends. This is his name. Yes, my friends. This is his name. I'm going to draw him a sidekick. Hopper Sanchez. Who is Hopper Sanchez? Oh, okay. Hopper Sanchez is an individual superhero, a sidekick of Captain Durag. He doesn't have much power, but he has super speed. Right? He has a cap. He is the eternal wife. Still. Right here. I'm giving him a very cool design, actually. I'm really giving him a cool design. Just giving him some plates right here, right? But like as I said, he looks almost stereotypical to who you see. He runs fast, so he's like the Flash. He's right, and because he's hot, and he has the power. Whenever he sees a wall, and it's an obstacle that Captain Durag cannot jump over, he is the man for the job. He hops over walls. He hops over walls to save the day and stops criminals because that is the easy way. He hops so high. I can see this guy hop like what? Almost 80 feet high. He can hop over. But he runs fast through the deserts of New Mexico to over borders. Not even the patrol can catch him. Nadie va a parar a ese man. Porque él brinca, él corre, ese man es el brincador Sánchez. Sánchez el brincador. Simón, Simón, Simón. So with him, their job is to fight crime, to fight slime. You know? He faced a supervillain before. His power, I didn't make it supervillain yet, but he had shades. He's almost like Mr. Freeze, right? Because he's got guns right? He's got guns, he's got a pack, right? But he's got coldness in a way. But he's like a white officer. He looks like a white officer, but he's not. He's like a supervillain to Hopper Sanchez. And what's it that power does? Well, he's got to dodge a lot of ice. He has to dodge ice. He has to dodge ice. You know what I mean? He has to dodge ice. So I'm giving him this, right? So Hopper Sanchez, I think he has like this. Or maybe the head would be like, it's like a map. Okay. There you go. Kind of like this. I still got to draw the head and all that good stuff. We'll figure out what kind of eyelid he has and all this stuff. Now that's the mark. I gotta draw this. Yeah, he's got the hat. He's got everything. I'm just giving him the, I swear, if my stream gets blocked again, I'm doing something very right. I want to repost. I gotta repost this. I gotta repost my Google because it was offensive. Because they know because they think I'm doing something wrong. They have no idea. This is exactly what I'm doing. They did not know this shit. What I'm doing is exactly what I'm doing. His name is Hopper Sanchez. Jumps over walls, 100%. He jumps over buildings. It's astonishing. Imagine seeing Hopper Sanchez jumping over the villain's car, making sure he was stopped by justice. He would jump over and dodge ice from that villain. You know what I mean? He dodges ice. And though that villain is not alone. I thought the idea, okay, this Iceman has agents, but he calls them agents. You know? It's agents. And Hopper Sanchez, would hop over them, stop them. There's a lot. But now there's ice demons. Ice demons. They were trying to send his people, or freeze these people back in time, make them think that they're back in their homeland, but of cold air despair. They freeze them. They say, freeze, I ice you, and then ice them their will. And their lair, they'll take them to their lairs, which is literally down south of the border. That's some shit. No? That's a good story. That is a really, 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 really good story. It's a really good story. It's a really good idea to begin with. So Captain Durag, made by a Disney company. Who would have thought that'd be a good idea? Honestly, like who would have thought that that'd be a good idea to draw and animate a character, a superhero, with the elements of with all the stereotypes of black people. Though, like now that shit is ridiculous. Funny enough, the person who created that character, apparently she says she's black. She's way too light. I'll show you. Show you this. And then we're going back to that. Hold up a second. All right. This is the creator. Yeah, this bitch. She says she's black. This bitch is not black. She is Latina. And using a fucking baby diaper. Camille Colbert. Camille Colbert. Corbett. Or that's her name. That's her name. Like, if she says she's black, you're fucking mistaken. You were light skinned. Bitch, you was light skinned. You're at the same skin tone as Chris Brown, okay? You you kind of look like kind of remind me a bit like if you were Rachel Dolezal, right? Rachel Dolezal is trying her very best to become one of you. Orders the leans in her house and all that stuff. She would do her very that I still kind of vividly remember the curious case of Rachel Dolezal. This bitch I have, she looks like a demented. I don't think any true black girl. She's too light. I don't know. She's extremely light skinned. She's like a main protagonist of a Tyler Perry movie. I'm not saying that all black people, that all light skinned niggas are not forgiven. But to say that I'm black to the heart, no. You the one drop rule that signification right there is that is the old mechanics of the one drop. Supposed to feminine, Latino, all right. So race does not really matter in 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 that aspect, but in the United States. Oh, that because Latin America, yeah, race matters a lot. Systematic racism over there is a whole other. It is a whole other level over there. But this Rachel Dolezal has a bitch right here. This he's not. You light, you a light skin. You a light skin, right? You look like you should belong to one of my families of the planet, bro. You look like you should belong to one of my families. We'll bring your ass in and we'll force you to speak Spanish. Rachel Zegler the same. No, Rachel Zegler, that that one is not one of us. The way they speak, like they're probably fake ads too. Yeah, Rachel Zegler, fake ads. A lot of bullshit. That's what's going. That's what's going. So back to it, seeing an eight thing a very offensive content. Look, I'm getting 20 likes already. No, I'm literally just got 20 likes right now. Like 23 likes on my tweet, on my Twitter post. Literally. So I'm literally so I'm still awaiting for like backlash and comments on Twitter, and if I do have a backlash on Twitter or comments, I'm going to read it, I'm going to put a video on it, and then we're going to see how people react and all that good stuff. You know, even though I don't really have much of this. Like you know X, bro. If you have X and people call you a fence sitter, listen, it's best to be a fence sitter. It's best to be very neutral with these kinds of stuff rather than trying to pick a side. Because yeah, one side is has been completely ostracized for a very long time, but that does not mean that one side is always going to be righteous. Well, that side too has some always gotta kind of have to put a limit to that. I'm going to defend you as much as I can because because of this, and that. However, like to put a good limit to that because not all of you are right. Not all of you are right. So I stand with them a little more now because the normies on the Puritan normies, whether you're woke or you're religious, are a little too unhinged for me. But then we're going because I brought up racism because I'm drawing a character based out of racial stereotypes. Um, I'm going to probably be the only Hispanic person in that community in that defense because maybe sure, yeah, there's Latin Americans there, but of this color, of this look, of this black hair, I may be the only one. Most people who are into that, who are a part of the ZZV community of Latin America, are probably white Hispanics. I look Middle Eastern. I should be on the side that hate that hate this post, that should be offended by this post. Truthfully, there's a pattern. There's a pattern. Because since we're talking about race and ethnicity in niche communities and what's the culture. In reality, it's really not about race. It's really just about culture. The poggers community is 100% about culture, not about race. Repeat that again. The poggers and WNL community rivalry was never about race. It was all about culture. Just be straight with you, because not all white people and Asian people are going to link to the poggers community. There are whites and Asians in the WNL community, while there are blacks and Latinos in the poggers community. I've seen it. Met some people who are into it. I too am kind of more on the coconut side, so I kind of do linger a bit on the poggers, though not too much because I do have nature of being a little bit of a government. But I'm an incel, so I don't know nothing. I'm stupid. You know? That's just how it is. I recently had to watch a video from a guy named Auntie Sensei. If you guys want to do it, go ahead. I don't care. Maybe you're doing this for clout and call me out and call me all kinds of stupid, or probably know I'm right. I don't know. Go ahead, click the share, whatever the fuck. I don't exist. I don't exist. I really don't exist. I'm a figment of your imagination. But like I said, um, I met this guy named. There was a video I recently saw by Monty Sensei, who is a black anti-tuber. Number one, he's black and he's anti-tuber because I can tell by his voice. Yes, I'm your racist, but it's true, bro. It is true that he talks about how a lot of guys like Ali Shakur, I think that's his name, Ali Shakur, the guy who made the fucking Devil May Cry, which I can lie, I kind of liked it, but not in the sense that I never played, because I never played the Devil May Cry, so I kind of liked the show until they reached the American part, the American idiot, and then all things just became funny as hell. Right? So, aside from like I said, that he talks about how apparently Avatar: The Last Airbender is not an anime. It's a Western cartoon. I'm like, no, I say that's an anime. It's made in the United States of America. It is American anime, a genuine American anime, because it had consistent storytelling, it had consistent world building, it had consistent sort of emotional, like character and experience, it had message development. I know I that I disagree on nonsense, saying that Avatar: The Last Airbender isn't an anime. No, you're wrong. Wrong. It wasn't. It was just because it was made in America. And because everything was made in America, it should be considered as a cartoon. And I understand, yes, it's made in the United States, it should be considered as a cartoon. But the way it has been made and how we saw it, and when we grew up as kids in Nickelodeon, to us, I think it was earned as an anime. Avatar: The Last Airbender was earned as an anime. No? Because if that's the case, it still stays a cartoon, then we could assume that Afro Samurai would be considered as a cartoon, not as an anime from Japan, because even though they're just the basic. So he talked about that. And he talked about, he showed up also, brought up a video about Nico doesn't want, that is not interested in watching anime. It's weird. Yeah, anime is weird. Don't get me wrong, anime is weird. Anime is weird, but yeah, like if people, and this is what caught his attention. Now, I don't want to pay too much attention to too much information on brain fart, but what Sneeko said and that captivated him was that there are too many. They're gonna be that in the future. Right now, there are influencers who never watched anime or now forced to say anime, and there's companies who never cared about anime because it's not their interest, will be milking the living hell out of it because it sells. And sells it does. Now, nobody likes Sneeko, and I don't like that either. That nigga hangs out with pathetic ass fucking weebs like fucking Myron, who are like, like the alpha male, kind of like hate, disciples and shit, who are now getting into politics. Those are normies. You know what? We should accept. We should agree with it. Like, not everybody's gonna like anime. Okay, good. I could look at your background and realize, yeah, because if you look at Sneeko's whole setup, right? If you look at a podcast that isn't an anime podcast and it's just got different designs, right? Then that person is not that extremely explains. You know what I mean? Like, it explains an individual. If you look at it, for example, let's talk about like if Charlie Kirk, RZA Islam, right? RZA Islam. He have a specific type. Like his background is simple. He's got a big screen. Talks about faith in God. Got a statue of Black Power and X and Dr. B, his podcast, his own, and as well Islam, the Nation of Islam, the Nation of Islam, pictures of Muhammad Ali. That already explains who this person is, his interest, and his hobby. Me, on the other hand, look at me draw. I draw art, but you can tell the lack of things right here, right? You know, that's just my brother's. But if you've seen my stuff, I'll show you my stuff. Right? Look at my stuff. Right? Look at my. This is my art that I post, right? I draw a lot of things. I draw a lot of things. Fortunately. Okay, but it doesn't fit. I'm too lazy. I draw things. So that explains me who I am. And I draw things. I do love getting figures. I have a barber who has his right. He owns a family barber shop. He built his own shit from the ground up. And I see him with pop culture figures like the Flash. He had like a base of the Flash figurine in his barbershop. And then another one with the Joker. So he loves DC Comics. Explains to this guy a lot what kind of person he is and his interest in pop culture. He likes comic books. Though, not really. He also likes baseball, sports and stuff. So, explains all that kind of good stuff. So, imagine that. Now, you're going to convince a guy like Nico, right? You're going to convince a guy like Sneak to watch anime. There's a lot of normies out there. Mostly young kids who love I Shall Speed, right? But the rest are just normies who are not I Shall Speed fans who look at other shit. Asmongold, he is an absolute normie of his own language. Normies are different cultures and different clips. Unless you like Jake Monroe, who's a white goth man, who has his own setup that is very gothic, and it can literally, you know, simplify. Right? It literally simplifies. Hello. And therefore, you know, like, that explains him. So let's say it again. Let me say this again. When it comes back to Monty Sensei, it intrigued him because the people who say they like, because the lines are completely blurred when it comes to liking anime, right? That after the pandemic, or maybe after the pandemic, although I disclose that part because there's a lot of us, there's a good number of us before the pandemic was released, right? We watched anime. I watched anime. I have been watching anime since I was a little kid. My favorite, since I've watched Pokemon, which is literally basically pop culture. Well, no, back then, 100%. We wouldn't even consider it back then. But Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, I watched as a kid. Code Geass, Death Note, which was my favorite. I watched Bleach as a kid, Naruto as a kid. So I've watched that shit. And then hentai, like Bible Black, Bust the Bus, you know, Emoto Paradise, you know. Maybe a bit of Sword Art Online right there and there, Tokyo Ghoul, but you know, Emoto Paradise again, you know, Swing Out Sisters, you know. But like in all seriousness, I've been watching anime since at least I was 6 years old. And after that, like I've been so that one part he got wrong is that there's a that the people who say that they are like what anime fans are usually like what 80% fake. No, I don't think so. You're not wrong that there's a good chance of people who say they're fake, right? There's a good chance of people who say they're fake that are the yeah they are claim they watch anime because they've been watching it pandemic. There is a good chance. Like Mr. Beast, who stinks, who can think that he can just because he represents us, he represents a certain community. I'm casual. I'm casual in various niches. But you guys can call me a liar all you can. Call me that. I never even watched anything. I just watch small clips and that's it. But I don't watch like action show clips all the time. I know that I watch that there are other genres out besides that shown is a big. But I'm getting. I got you guys very. He agrees with us. That there's a lot of people media trying to milk the industry. Go watch this movie. Go watch the video. Otherwise, watch. You have to watch the video to kind of understand the kind of situation that I was talking about in the video. The funny part is I'm talking on behalf of my aspect of why I also thinking this kind of stuff was because I'm also drawing the same shit, right? I'm kind of drawing the same shit, right? But under my skin. Anyways, that's all to agree. But like, so that's when it comes to this kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this kind of stuff, Jesus, I know I'm doing right. I hope I'm doing. Hope I'm doing right. Ooh, how do I put pop? Good. Yeah, there you go. His name is gonna be Hop. Right here. Give him that super logo right here. Then what else? What else? I'll put some music a little more further up here. Kind of get you guys the right. Just got the morphin time power. Let's see. I want to move. I have to shrink guys and stuff. I might have to. Yep, I might have to. There's no point about it. Oh my god, I have to shrink. I don't want to. I really don't want to. I really don't want to. But I have to. There's no choice about it. I don't want to, but I have to. Otherwise, it's accountable. This art style right here kind of has a fade in a way. Also can have a mustache. I want the mustache to be big. He's Hopper Sanchez, yo. My boy's Hopper Sanchez. That's the problem. That's the thing. My boy's Hopper fucking Sanchez. He is Hopper Sanchez. 100%. He'll hop over your ass. He'll hop over your board. He'll hop over your wall. I didn't watch out. You finally get washed up on this. Let's see what's this. One. How much supposed to 30 left. More life every day. Even more. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I need more. Then also put like a bit of like a ditch over here because he needs to look like he actually hopped over the board. Funny enough, if people saw me and look at me drawing characters, they're gonna think, "Oh, I'm this dirty-looking Mexican." God damn! I'll be amazed that I'd be guessed to be called a Mexican. So many times people be calling me an Arab, but I'm actually Ecuadorian. I just don't look Ecuadorian because I don't look indigenous. I don't look like the indigenous Cameroon. I look like the Ecuadoriano del rural, la área caliente, costa, la capital ecuatoriano, Guayaquil. Eso yo veo. Y gente en los guayaquileños parece como yo, no árabe. No, actually, I think it comes to a conclusion. If you see Nicolas Maduro, if you see one of the former mayors, presidents of Guayaquil, Ecuador, his name is Jaime Nepal, they all look Lebanese. And you know what comes to a point? You know, if I'm not Bantu, if I'm not looking indigenous looking, because keep in mind, not all indigenous people look the same. not all indigenous peoples in all across Americas look the same. They'll never say, but like I'm saying, right? They're never the same. I can tell the main difference between Armenians and I met tribes, right? I remember, yeah, I met tribes. I met tribes in the coast. They look extremely different. But like I said, I don't know what was indigenous or Montubio. I hail from the sub-ethnic group, the Montubios, which is basically, it's like gauchos, but of the jungle, basically. I hail from the gaucho jungle, the gauchos of the jungle. Anyways, I'd be so amazed. So freaking relieved. I actually have one girl who thought I was from Brazil. Literally. I met a girl, right, on some college area who thought I was Brazilian. I was like, oh my God, it's such a relief. You have no idea how long and many times people thought I was Arab. My God, is it really because of my nose? Is it because of my nose that all Arab people got that beak? No, I thought it's the Jews or because I let's go see Lebanese. Let's see Lebanese. What's that? Yeah. Sorry. Do I really look like this person? Do I really look Lebanese? Do I really look like one of those people in the Middle East? Holy shit! Like without my face, 'cause I shave a lot. I really shave. Do I really look Lebanese? But really, with the big ass eyebrows? Oh yeah, I have big ass. Damn, do I really look like this nigga? Come on. Do I really does my ancestry tell that I'm Turkish? Or do I look like Lebanese? Like this motherfucker? Tell me that. Let's go see that. I wanna see it. I wanna see it. Because huh. Oh, yep. I guess it explains. Okay. I guess it explains. I guess it explains. People talk about because if I'm not indigenous looking or like half like completely Montubio looking, if you look at this, the are Latinos and Montubio people, right? These are the Montubios. These are my people right here. These are my people, Montubio, which is basically more of an ethnic culture, like gauchos of Argentina, the gauchos of Trump. And look, I mean that I'm a little more layered to that. Now these people compared to the currently Arab Latino, I don't know. Sorry, sorry, really look Middle Eastern. If that's the case, then shit, I shouldn't be liking anime. I should I should be liking anime because that should be called halal. Halal. I won't be if that's the case then I should be drawing I shouldn't be drawing because then I would not see myself into virgin. Do I really like that? like I said, Latin America has many different races and ethnicities. Way too mixed. We're Dixie cups in our own game. So, like I said, and but at the same time, I'll tell you this again. Indigenous. Ethnic, like these guys, like here. This, if you look at this painting, it you can tell the many different indigenous, like you can see the custom features, right? But if you really look closely, if you really look closely in this art, you will realize the many different facial of these indigenous people. I know one indigenous group that can literally linger very closely to what I look. I just have more round eyes. Please pay attention. Pay close attention. Right? This is a tribe called the Sachilas. If you look, Sachilas are an indigenous group in the coastal side of Ecuador. Now, look at the shape. Now, you can tell by the eyes, the shape, the shape of the nose. It's almost very beak-like, almost like me. I'm kind of not beak-like, but the nose, that's that beak. And then you look at the male. See him? See the way he looks right here? The statue like. Compare that to the stars of the Amazon. Different features. They look the same, but in reality, not really. So look at the window. Here. Look at the facial features. They look similar, but the face structure is kind of the same, but it's a different style. Compare that again. Compare to the compare that to these people, Taraburas of Ecuador. Talking about my country, my family's country. Talking about indigenous people. But look at them. They're indigenous, but they have a different facial features. Their features are they're still indigenous, but they don't look the same as just like the Japanese and the Chinese. You understand the distinction between Koreans, Chinese, and Japanese? There's many distinctions I could tell from the Andeans, Amazon, and the Satsila tribes, or the Choco Pacific regions of Ecuador. So much so that if you could put together those guys who Mesoamerican, right? The Mesoamericans of America, who may seem familiar, but they're not. You can tell the different facial features of a Native American. So when I say that I should have some indigenous, which that means I have indigenous blood of a specific tribe. Now, that doesn't mean I hail from a tribe. No, I am not. I cannot be part of it because I don't look like it. I don't feel it. But anyway, part of the safe matter policy. Okay.
That's what it is to be. That's what it is. The difference between indigenous people. You should understand about indigenous tribes is that not all indigenous people are the same. It's very important to know anthropology. I absolutely met. I went to a festival, family event in the campsite national park. Right? I met a guy. I met two tribes who were attending this prehistoric, basically a prehistoric. So those two, I met one guy, and they all visited. One guy, his name is Harold Wilbur. He is like what 74 years old when I met him. This guy is he hails from the Pueblo Nation. He hails from from the reservation First Nation of Pueblo, right? He hails from the I think one of the clans. I follow him on. I met that. He spent he's a Pueblo Indian, born in the 1960s, and then moved to Florida at the year 2002. He lived a pretty good life. He relocated. And yes, Native Americans can relocate if permitted. So I met that guy. He showed us his arts, practice arts that are of his culture of Indian. They're like bowls, a specific kind of art that you see straight from yeah, the United States. I was fascinated about it. And I talked to him about his life here and all of this stuff, so on, in his native ways, and he met other cultures. So then I met I think I met another Native American who had a different bead, who I guess maybe some of Pueblo, I don't know, but she looks Dakota. Dakota. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably Melungeon, I don't know. So after I met him, I said, "Hey, have a good day. I follow you. I found his contact. I went across another side of the festival. Shit, family shit that really doesn't amaze me. And I met family, father and two sons. They are Seminole Indians. Yes, these are the indigenous peoples of Florida. And I met, and they hail from the Big Cypress Reservation, which is basically the Everglades, in the Everglades. Now I didn't talk to them about culture because I I grew up in South. So I kind of remember because I know the life there. I live in a neighborhood, yes, very populated neighborhood, literally next door to the Everglades. I remember going to Publix there. I would see another tribe that runs with us in that reservation, which is called the Miccosukee tribe over there. So that I know. They said they hail from Naples. We didn't even talk about a single thing about ancestors, culture, spirituality, because we because I know the life there. What we talked about was the life back in Miami, Naples, pandemic. I talked to this dude's son, literally about anime, literally about anime, and we were all talking about One Piece. Because there were kids, basically what like 14 and 12, 11, 14 and 9 years old. So I would put him, gave him One Piece, I gave him Pokemon, all that good stuff, Yu-Gi-Oh, you know. But yeah, we talked about life there and asked them questions about, do you know your people over there in Canada, because they do have a small neighborhood, a small community, very small community in Tampa, just to connect, just to connect a bit with the hard rock because the Seminole Indians are fucking filthy, filthy, filthy rich. They are stupid rich, so rich they don't know that they're so that their brains go to stupid rich. But like I said, funny story. That guy I talked about earlier, the Harold Wilbur, who is of the Pueblo Nation, he actually went to school with the Seminole Indians. And as I'm speaking about these people, those are two different cultures, two distinct different cultures. And you may be thinking, but they might look the same. No, they're not. When I met Harold Wilbur, he was a Native American straight from the Pueblo Nation. Right? The face structure was a more his face was more narrower than the Seminole. It was a little more rounder, and the broad part of the cranium right here, a little more broader square. Look almost like her Mesoamerican, which is Mayan somewhat. Now, think of the mestizaje, like the race mix of these people. You get people the same look, same features, exactly like you're mixing African, mixing whites, you're mixing native. You're putting in Moors from Spain, Spaniards. Not all Spaniards were white people. Not all Spaniards white people. There were a good number of Spanish people who look Middle Eastern because of the Moor conquest that they had to fall off their enemy position. And I've been to Spain. I've been to Alhambra. I went to a Moor castle. I went to a Moor temple. And my God, that shit is unbelievable. That shit is unbelievable. I remember that. But so, like I said, they are different. Those people are very, very different. Those people are extremely different. You can tell by the. I met the culture. I met those people. When it comes to me wondering who I am, I would say, yeah, if I'm not Montubio, I'm still not white. But I do look Middle. You and I will have to spread the amazing fact that Arab people are white people. Arabs are white. That is 100%. No one would believe that Arabs are white. The reason why they're considered Caucasian because there was a treaty. There was a treaty of immigrants that they say, look, that because people feared people feared the racial prejudice against Arabs, against other minorities in America, that they didn't want to go through that. And since they have a sophisticated culture of their own, but those is usually about family or religion and faith, and which is allowed in the United States, is considered to be still inferior towards Christian standards. That's people are usually say. The Arabs, the first Arabs that came to America, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want my family in danger. So they fight themselves as Caucasians, as Europeans, even though they really are not Europeans. They did that so they would avoid, persecution. from white people. We know that we know damn well Arab people are not white. Damn well. That's like saying a fucking an Indian. That's like saying Indian is not East Asian. Indians are not East Asian at all. It's just maybe it's just the culture. I don't know. Even so, not all white people look the same too. Real too. Not all native. If you go to like in the native heartlands of Europe that is being bombarded by a sea of invaders, like take out the invaders, take out all the migrants that are playing the beautiful cities of Europe, right? And literally close to them because we're talking about Spain, close to them, between the and neighbors and people from Georgia, from Eastern Europe, they look completely distinct. They look absolutely distinct. You will realize it. Like, oh shit. There's differences in baby. There's great differences between East Asia, between Japan, China, and Korea, which everyone knows. And don't get me started with black people, with Africa. Do not get me started with Africa. Do not get me started with Africa. People in Africa have a variety. There's a massive variety. Black people in general. There's a massive variety of different races and ethnicities towards black community. And black people does not only come meaning from Africa, right? No. The most nappy ass hair ass people that are not in Africa. We started in Africa, but we left Africa. You're gonna say that same shit to the Melanesian people from Papua New Guinea who have the same nappy ass hair as black people from Africa, from the United States. Say that again. You gonna say that? No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. No. Let's compare that now. You know what? I'm giving more about black people. Africa, but a non-African. Okay, I'll give you a non-African nation. Haitian Negroes, the people from the Philippines, the Haitian people, the unique people's islands. These are considered black from Southeast Asia, or Caucasian. Or better yet, the oldest, we're going back, the oldest living race of humans on the planet. Among the oldest living nation, completely distinct, completely distinct. Offer Sanchez on the way. Red up in this bitch. Typical red. See that? Copper center. Anyway, like I said, that's enough talking about ethnicity and anthropology. Anthropology is very unique here. Anthropology is very unique, and I'm bringing and who brought that topic on my behalf. It's the mechanism of there's a specific side. I'm more on truth. People say, no, you're white, you're white, you're white. No, you trust me, you don't look white. Even towards criollo, even towards the criollo people, do not label me as white. Because, no, trust me, no. Please do not label. You can label me anything else, but I'm not going to be a Scandinavian. I do not look Scandinavian. I can look maybe like one of these people, the Roman Gypsy. This this may maybe fucking possible. These characters right here are Eastern Europe. It's not Bulgaria, the Roman. Still the Roman migrants, right? These are Roman people. These guys are possible. This movie might have possible lead without a doubt. This could be a possibility. Again, remember, Europeans are the same white people. Really need it. These are people that look like me. There's some people that look like me. Really, holy shit. This can be possible. So absolutely. Things will not affect. They're not within the evolution Muslim. Yeah, they absolutely positive. Yeah, no. We have like Actually, I know that. No, 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 actually. It's red. No, actually, Captain does have that. I guess I'll give him that. Give you this. Never in my life will make something. But, like, of course, you do look like you hop up. Uh, Absolutely. This dude looks like he definitely hopped over. He's got the brown skin, he's got the hat and everything. Red coat, hat and everything. Definitely looks like a border hopper. That's the wife beater. I could give him a Cortez. No. Nope. Alright. Maybe a bit this way. Even though Captain Durag's more, I'm saying more complex. I think that thing. Here. And the same thing here. Nope. Wrong code. Here. That's the good. Wrong. There. Oh. Ah. Rays and all everything. Yes, 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 yes. And doing that. See, that's a super fast. Copper Sanchez got to run fast, and he hops all the way. He hops all the ball. Copper Sanchez. Copper Sanchez. God, but I like it. It's so racist that you have to be fantastic. You have to be very creative. Here, now I'm gonna go all the way. Here, here. Part getting my nerves. It doesn't have the I'm not getting the same perspective. Same perspectivity of the shading. No, no. All right. We're not getting to that thing. What's the thing? What question is? I feed. Hi. Captain Durag. Character. Oh my god. Perhaps. No. He's ready. He's ready. Oh, no. Oh yeah. This Huh? Come on. Be wrong. Depending on the depending on the background. But I have hope. I have good hope. Make it nice and worthy. I don't know. You be the judge. Be the judge. You guys be the judge. He does. That. Alright. Oh shit. Ooh, damn. Shit, boom all the time. Thousand. Oh, okay. I had eyes? That's what I'm thinking about. I had eyes. Wait. Look. I'll add He's brown eyes. All the way. Almost all Mexican have brown eyes. Mm. Oh, well. I got pretty quiet, I'll tell you that. I got like, I kind of got pretty quiet for reasons. I was very loud. You know, I was just loud. You know, finalize a few things. I want to make a video, but like, I need a microphone. I can't get it. I have a lot of videos. Okay. So, well, anyways, that's all. It doesn't work. Let's see. This thing. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ah, pues, no. No. Vamos a ponerle luces. Y like marcas acá, ¿verdad? Eso, tenemos ya. Más o menos, sí, pero no. Déjalo así, déjalo así. Déjala pasar. Vale. Right here, shade right here. It's pretty good. I'm thinking of the shade. Light, the purity of my light. I don't need. No, I really don't need. Okay, now back to here. Let's put that over. The sign right here. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna okay, now this is where this is how we do it. This is how we do it, baby. Then the fire. Come on. Get this thing, hurry up and finish it up somewhat. Hurry, finish it up. Or have a basic to the suit, kind of a jacket, kind of like this. Whatever the jacket is, whatever the tight thing. Here. I text. Good text right now. This character design may change, but it's just like for fun. So really, I don't think that matters to whether or not character can be different. This guy needs a super suit. Good shit. This guy really needs a super suit. And don't blame me. Right here, I could be right. You could be wrong. I don't know. You could be right. I could be wrong. But what matters the most, I'm very able to say This is. He just needs a little more power. I'm at the other part. If you even know my English, I have good jokes, and now it's starting to. Ain't that the big? Ain't bitch. I'm trying to regain my charisma. I don't have a microphone, unfortunately, so it doesn't, no one knows what I'm saying. That should cost like $100, man. Jesus Christ. Something like that cannot be like that expensive. Not all microphones have to be that expensive. These things. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Okay. Uh, Here we go. Hot percentage. That's my sidekick. That is the sidekick. Captain Durag and hot percentage. That's just right there on the short side. Here we go. All right. I finally did it. I finally did it. I gave this motherfucker a fucking sidekick, man. My boy Captain Durag and his fellow sidekick, Hopper. That's it. Holy shit. This is funny and offensive, but I wanted it to be a holy shit. Oh yeah. And racing 15 here. Man. Yeah, baby. Man. Like cable guy, Jim Carrey. Wait, what's this? Did I add something? Oh no. Oh, no. This is the one, boy. Brad and Hopper saying shit. Here we go, bro. He's got the fucking gas hat. The Hopper, like the letter H stands for Hector because his name. Think of it. Hopper said his real person is Hector. Like every Mexican person in Hollywood. Plus he has a bald head. Name is Hector. His first name is Hector. And his alias is Hopper. His last name Hector. That is more beautiful. That is beautiful. And already I got 60. Already I'm getting more and my God. I can't believe I'm getting more. Oh no. And I'm getting a ton of people. No, it proves me right. It proves me right. Yeah. No. Wait, look at the flag. Look at the flag. Okay, fam. Here. I mean, I'm getting my this guy, this one. I hope he stays on that before you're getting more likes. Not his design. They're designed by A2. This shows all the characters. And being fucking steerable. Crazy because I'm getting more likes. Like, this guy in the middle is literally $6. Okay, fam, here we go. Exactly, exactly. But I think that's whole. It's perfect. But it works. You know what? Keep him out of the course. Worst, not proof. Especially, this guy backfired. This guy really backfired. I knew it. I think I might even out of my bed. I like watching. Okay? That's why I see. Honestly, we be fine without him. Because you are rising. I am like that. Kind banger at there. It is like the haters. Oh, no. And Hitler's back. I would insane rage bait, rage bait, rage bait, rage bait, rage baiting, rage baiting. We made so much fear because I would take a bullet to be on purpose. That's the game is quick, and he thinks it's gonna hurt. More than small things. Maybe higher than they give it on. He is the best design artist. I think. I'll tell you that. Amazing design artist. Still getting more likes. Okay. Although not the first 60 likes on getting more of this you know, this guy, he knows really his big up. No icon racism. No icon has racism by for us to this was okay. Wow. Okay. Then, people are like that. Listen, I respect you. If you haven't liked it, you think my like. I'm going to okay. I would tend to be that. I'm like I like to live over there and say, hey, I beat my meat to fictional little kids, you know. Or oh my god, like, hey, yo, you got all you people out there who watch this. Service are a bunch of baggy ass pedophiles. That's not gonna work. Like I said, I want to say I would make these comments, right? But usually I be sensitive and stay back of it because I'd rather sense. I like to I have my own side. Right? But if I'm being pushed away and hearing an opinion, that's kind of right here, and I was kind of say, you know what, fine. Then you put me right. And hear me out when I say it again. There are entities out there who are completely hypocritical, have mental illness, all that kind of stuff. But then there are those who are just simply young kids, right? Who have an underdeveloped brain. They still have a lot to learn. I may have a lot, and I don't blame them to have to set boundaries. Yes, I know stuff. However, I have the right to talk back to you. This guy's literally I don't blame you. I don't blame the rest. Like, there's some that are the majority of you guys. There are some of you with that are very easier, really not connected to social space. But I think they did Captain Drag. Let me go look at oh boy, Captain Drag is funny. My question is, how do you if you guys want to give me a comment, I don't know. I don't know. Thank you for saying this. I'm probably going to background. Maybe a red background. A nice red background. I don't. I don't. Always. So I go. Oh, that's.